some rice and whatever that I had in a packet. Missed out on that good food. I mean, I missed out on it because I can't eat all of that and that at the same time. So for breakfast tomorrow, I'm having lentils. That's what I'm having for it. So Mike, shout out to you all. Shout out. Oh, he said she's my Puerto Rican pecan.
That's it. My Puerto Rican pecan. Come on.
That's all right, my dude.
Watch these rap get all up in your
listen,
French vanilla butter pecan chocolate deluxe.
Since he's talking like that, well, you got a nickname for your husband, Armina?
Oh yes.
That came from a good place.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do have a nickname for him. Yes.
Okay, because there's a difference between yes and oh yes.
Yes, Lord.
We're talking about a nickname, not a pet name. Come on, okay? So,
Okay.
what do you call your husband?
My yum yums.
My yum yums. Leah, what you call your husband?
Look, I ain't got all the yum yums, but that's just my honey.
I got you.
Yeah, I get that early morning, good morning, right? He got the heart and he gets the little honey, and that just begins the day.
Wow. What she was saying is that she begins the day with honey.
Right.
Little drizzle.
Wait. Little drizzle.
Little something.
What you call Faith? What you call Faith?
Cariño.
Okay, in English.
Spanish for sweetheart.
No.
That's the name we call each other. Like if she calls me, she'll either say one or two things, babe, or she'll say cariño.
I like that, bro.
I call mine Jesus.
Yes.
Will you be calling him Jesus after you get married?
Well, see, here's the thing: a gentleman.
There are some attributes that the son provides.
I can say that if I'm really, really, really into a person, I call them by their last name.
Oh, that's nice.
If I'm really, and it's only happened once, but I call you by your last name.
Yeah, that's my mama.
Everybody else call you by your first name.
Yeah, that's my mama. She called my stepfather she called him Green. That's what she called him.
Last name. What do you call Wendy?
Let me take this down first.
My fried dumpling. My cassava.
You know
my
what?
pimento seed under the cassava leaf. My juju plum. My rum punch. My oxtail and rice and peas. My well,
it's really personal, but I call her Priscilla.
Jesus.
And she knows what that means.
Okay.
Hey.
Was there an emoji for Priscilla? Like
no.
Oh, no hints, no nothing. We was in the dark.
I'm over here trying to think of movies or
no.
That Priscilla sound like there's a private
I get it. Priscilla.
He going like this, like he get close.
Armina's just clapping. You know what I mean? Yes, man. Yes. But yours, Sade, it's now Jesus, and then when you find the right person, it'll be my Jesus.
No, it'll be his last name. I'll call him by his last name. Or if he has a middle name, the middle name can be thrown. I just don't believe in calling whoever I love by the name everybody else calls them by, because I need you to know my voice.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm like that with my nieces, my nephews. I don't call any of them by their given name.
Right, my sheep know my voice.
I will say, when I am upset with my husband, he gets the name. Like, his name is Evans. Everyone calls him Ev or Vince. But if I call him any one of those three names, just understand we got a problem.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
I'm not feeling loving right now, so I'm going to call you by your government.
Yeah, I know that Lonnie is easygoing. Does he ever get mad?
Listen, his nickname is Laid Back. That was his line name,
I
and that
remember
is him
that's
all
right.
the time, right?
Laid back.
Cool.
Yo, I don't think I've ever seen him get mad or just look upset. Never. And there was a time at school that because I was hanging with Damon that I was with them guys. So I was just like, man, that's all right.
Yeah, he laid back. Don't mean that he can't flip the script though.
Right.
But for the most part, he cooler than you.
It's the quiet ones you got to watch anyway.
Hey.
We match each other's energy. We both understand the assignment.
Yeah, listen, Armina, she didn't say assignment.
Yeah, the
assignment.
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 Right.
There was no T. You didn't put no T on that end.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
So let me just ask y'all this question. I was with a couple earlier today.
Yeah.
And we got into the subject of boundaries.
Mm.
And you know, I thought it was really interesting that she was not stressed about him, but he was stressed about her. And it didn't come from a place where she did anything wrong, right? And it didn't come from a place where he was right or wrong, you know. It just seems as if some people, they have boundaries, and some may seem, I'm going to say this, some may seem that's doable, and some may seem extreme. Have y'all ever heard of anything extreme in boundaries with individuals that are dating? Any thoughts?
I think before we jump off into it, we need to define what boundaries are, because some people have some misconceptions about what boundaries are. Okay.
I mean, well, let's put it this way. Let me just add this in there. Can you have a friend there that's a guy that your husband is okay with?
Oh yeah, my best friend. He's a dude, right? My best friend, that's a dude. Married. My best friend, that's a girl, and we double date all the time. We was just together over the past weekend, right? Hit up the comedy club, stayed over. We are kicking, right? So happens all the time.
So when you say this thing, boundary P, immediately my mind goes to something you can control and enforce.
Okay.
I mean, take for instance, if I decide that, let's just say my yard didn't have a fence around it, right? And I want to put up a fence around my yard, right? Do I put that fence around my yard so I can tell the neighbors what to do in their yard or control what my neighbors are doing in their yard? I put the fence up around my yard so I can control what's happening inside my yard, right? Inside my place.
Okay. All right.
So whenever I put a boundary up, it is not to control. I think that's the thing that people misunderstand, is that a boundary is put in place to control the behavior of other people, when a boundary is more so to control your own behavior in response to whatever the difficulty, challenge, or whatever it is, right, that we're facing. So I just want to put what you're saying right there in context. So if a husband tells a wife, right, or a wife tells a husband, I told you not to talk to me like that, right? And they call that a boundary. That's not really a boundary, right? That's a feeble attempt to control your husband or your wife to do or not to do a particular thing that you like or don't like, right?
Okay.
But the flip side to that is that you say, I've asked you before not to talk to me that way, and the next time that you do that, I'm just going to get up and leave the room. There's a difference in between the two. One you can control and one you cannot control. The boundary is the one that you can enforce and control. So if I say to you, don't talk to me like that, I can't control. I can tell you that. The question is, will you abide by it or not abide by it? I can't control what you do or don't do as it relates to my request. I can control what I'm going to do when I tell you that I don't like that behavior, it's inappropriate and it's not working for me. I have a choice in terms of my boundary, what I'm going to do, and I can enforce it because the only thing that I can control is me.
Right. And that's the thing. And Quest, you're bringing up a great point, because boundaries, they're not for the other people. They're for you. Right. And they exist to protect you. Now, the problem is that for whatever the reason is, we always think boundaries is for the other people. So we're afraid to set them for reasons of multitudes of things. But they impact them, but they're really for you. And so what Quest is saying is that they are there for limits and rules, right? We set them within our relationship, and it dictates what's acceptable and what's unacceptable behaviors from other people.
And I think what has to happen, thinking about establishing a relationship, it can't be these are my boundaries, these are your boundaries. When you're in relation with someone else, these are the boundaries of our relationship, right? Like,
I love
what
it.
are we going to agree upon as boundaries? Not only because to Mina's point, I'm used to protecting myself, right? I'm used to doing things that make sure Sade's heart is good, it doesn't get hurt, and all those things. When I'm in relation with someone else, I can't be like that with you, but I can ask that we do things collectively that ensure that our relationship is a safe place for both of us.
So then can we talk about the difference between relational boundaries and just the rules of engagement of the relationship, right? Because it seems to be a very thin line as to protecting the relationship, setting the boundaries to protect the relationship, or agreeing upon how we're going to move in the space in this relationship.
Well, so if I put a boundary or limitations, right, on Wendy, I'm just saying, right, if I put that on her, or if she puts it on me, on my own, without an agreement, then it's not a boundary, it is a limitation.
Control.
I'm with you on that, because I was sitting here thinking, and I often, when I talk with my clients about boundaries tend to be immovable. Limitations can move, right, contingent upon what might be going on, what they're facing at that moment. But yeah, I don't know about the fact that boundaries in a relationship are just solely about the relationship, and that an individual should not have their own boundaries in the midst of the relationship.
My gosh. I hate clinical people.
So 3 types, right? It's mine, yours, and ours.
Yeah.
Because and we just share that there are different types of boundaries. And I think we just say boundaries like a blanket, but there are different types of boundaries that apply, and it's applicable to different things.
Is it safe for us to say that when we're talking about the mine, yours, and ours, that mine and yours operate within the relationship and ours operate outside the relationship? And when I say,
but can it be both, Quest?
I'm thinking that it can, but I'm just saying for the purposes of us, just diving a little bit deeper.
Okay.
When I think of mine and yours, I think about what my boundaries are for me within the relationship, and your boundaries are for you within this relationship, and then the collective boundaries that we have are for people who, right? Because this is our sacred circle.
Exactly.
Exactly. Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Our brother is hanging out in the back.
He is. I just said to the
listen.
And he gonna cuss you out when he get in here.
Cuss me out now. Y'all gonna cuss me out. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. If you look at my screen, right, every time he pops up behind my camera. He pops up behind my camera, so I can't see nothing.
So let me just. I put the text. So he gonna cut. Yep. As a matter of fact.
Hey friend. Hey friend.
Yep. I'm out. I don't want no part of that right there. I'm out. It's about to go down. I'm out. My roots, brother. I just want you to know.
On mute.
Stay on mute, y'all.
I can't do my brother like that from the D. Come on, T.
Hey, I just wanted to be known that I sent the message and you saw it.
I saw that. I saw that.
I didn't. Oh my gosh.
Peace out.
I'm sitting here like, Paul should actually be somebody's missing. Let me go back and check and see what's going on. Because I just finished my domestic violence.
Yes.
I can't be in here at 9. Then I got to get the pooches out, let them do their thing, and come on back in. I send the text. I'm here.
I am sorry.
I don't take ace buses no more.
But hey, you know what? I'm here now. Maybe I'll show up next week, and maybe
this week.
Oh, this week. What do you know?
I forgot to go to the airport. My bad.
There might be a whole lot of forgetting.
That's right. That's right.
What we talking about? Boundaries tonight?
Yes, boundaries, sir. Baby. Boundaries and anything else, but boundaries. I mean, like I said, I was talking to this couple tonight, and it's funny how one individual can set up a boundary and somebody else is like, I'm gonna agree with his boundary. But you agreeing with his boundary, but you have to, you got to be a part of the agreement. It's got to be an agreement.
Mm-hmm. But what is the boundary in essence supposed to do, P? Like, I know it's supposed to protect your peace, but is it also a defense against
past transgressions, past hurts, past traumas, things that I do to protect myself from what I know causes me pain?
Right. And not just trauma, it could just simply be privacy because I'm an individual. Just because I married you, I don't need you all up in every area. Like, you already get enough of me, right? Can I not have something?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not encroached upon.
What I think
these two become one, right? So
in what way though?
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you, and this is something I ask my classes: is there privacy in marriage?
Yes.
Indeed it is.
Should there be?
I'm just asking.
Should there not be
in marriage?
So I think we have to differentiate between privacy and secrecy. I can be
No, we're not gonna go there. Hold
it. That was good. That was good.
Hold it just like you to blab. We don't want to hear that.
There can be.
Okay. Let me say this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Sade Darlington.
I asked about privacy. I didn't say anything about secrecy. I'm asking, is there privacy in marriage? Are there limits? Are there boundaries? Okay. So here's the thing. Let's play this out. I know y'all want to hear this, but just for the sake of this, we're going to role play tonight.
Come on.
Let's say I have married Sade.
Yes.
First lady is officially a first lady.
Why?
All right. And so, okay. Sade's handbag is open, in the, closet somewhere on the island or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know. Yeah. Okay.
You mean the island, like in the kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't have
my bad. I was in another place. Go ahead. The island in the kitchen.
He was back in Jamaica.
Island in your island in your closet. Okay. When I was married, I used to have an island in my closet. But anyway, okay. So her purse is there, and I know I want some gum. And Sade, I know she always got some gum in her purse.
No.
So now, I go over here. Do I respect? Can I go in there and get some gum?
After I ask
Or if my phone is laying down and it rings, can Sade pick it up and answer it? Is there privacy in marriage? Oh,
yes.
let me see how
Indeed,
much
it is.
Wait,
Yeah.
you got paid? You got paid? What that check say? Or let me see what your credit score is. Or where do the limits? That's another word. Do they stop in? What do you share in your marriage?
Where's my
What
gunshot?
things are private? We ain't talking about secrecy. That's a whole nother thing.
But
We're talking about, because we said boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that stop? Where does it start? Where does it end? I don't know.
Let me pause. I want to give a shout out to my cousin Owen Larman. Cousin Owen Lauren, that's my cousin right there. Just want to give a shout out to him, and because I'm going to ask him to make a donation for SAP. Go ahead, y'all. Just go ahead.
Okay. Do you have a right? Do you have a right? Do you have a right to run them pockets?
Think about it.
If I take my pants off, okay. If I take my pants off and you doing laundry, that's how guys got found out back in the day when I was coming up, before there was cell phones. Oh, you got some phone numbers here, or whatever the case may be. I'm asking, do you have a right to go? Does your spouse have a right to go through your things? That's all I want to know.
So I'm gonna tell you this: the biggest argument that my husband and I had, he went in my purse, called himself just reorganizing and cleaning out, and I ain't asked you to do all of that. That's mine. Right? And you did not ask me whether or not you had the right to go in and begin to reorganize. So when we talk about privacy, we're talking about the unauthorized disturbance of someone. Right? And their things.
You almost made me curse, girl.
I'm just letting you know.
But I think this goes back to what we say.
But I didn't. But you didn't answer my question.
What?
You have,
Does your spouse get? Hold on a minute, wife. Okay, we're still married. We're still married in this scenario.
In this scenario,
put your water down.
Lord, it's gonna be some drama at the live because folks gonna be like, "I thought you were single. You married."
I can only do it with Sade because she's the only single one out here.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
Here's the thing, though. I asked, does he have the right to go through your things? Do you have a right?
And I'm saying
no.
Okay. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna
let wifey talk.
I'm gonna let.
I think.
See, I knew I should never say that, but I'm gonna let her say that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and give you my point on that. Go ahead, wife.
Okay, go ahead.
I think this goes back to what we've talked about every week. These are conversations we have to have in the formation part of a relationship. What's okay for me may not be okay for Leah. Mm-hmm. So if a gentleman dated Leah and she was like, "Don't ever touch my purse," and then he dates me and I'm like, "Can you go on my purse and get something?" How does he know unless he has a conversation like, "So what are you comfortable with? What's off limits? What don't you want me to touch? What's okay? What's not okay?" Those are conversation pieces, and you still have a right to your own privacy. But some couples are like, "Oh, I got his phone. I know his phone passcodes. That don't matter to us. We don't. That's not something that's big for us." But that's because a conversation at some point was had. So I do believe everybody has a right to privacy, but that's something that we have to have a conversation about. As Leah said, unauthorized is different than. Baby, I don't care if you go in my car. I don't care if you take my car without asking. I don't care. Like, those aren't the things that matter to me. That's not what I keep private. But
does your phone matter to you, Sade?
No, go through it.
All right, so let me say this. Okay, go ahead. Let me hear Amina before I chime in and say what I got to say. Go ahead, Amina.
So I was just gonna say, yes, privacy in marriage is a must. And my reasoning behind that is because It protects. We're going to go back to this protecting each other's well-being.
And I'm glad you put that up. Whoever put that up there, I'm glad, because that's the direction I'm going in. But go ahead.
All right. Okay.
In the marriage, we have to acknowledge each other's needs for personal space and also information control, right? So you asked the question, where does it stop and where does it end? It stops at the point where withholding information can harm the other person in the relationship.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So let me say this. Okay. I asked this in my classes, and I asked y'all, and you guys respond just like my classes do. I asked if your spouse has the right to. They actually do. Should they? No. That's the way I look at it. They have a right because you are my wife and my husband. If I lay my phone down, yeah, you got a right. That's my wife. But no, you shouldn't go through that unless you ask me, because what do they say? If you go looking for something, you're going to find it. And guess what? Something innocent in here could be like, oh, what's this? What are you talking about? This is why you ask these things. I said, do they have a right as a spouse? You do. You don't have a right to go through and share it or doing anything like that, because now that's actually illegal.
Okay,
so
hold on.
Question. Go ahead, Paul.
No. Go sis.
No, my question is who gave this right? Like, what constitutes a right to have access to all things simply because you said I do? Where did that come in at?
These two become one. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine.
But what does that mean, really? Are we talking about in body and flesh and spirit and physical? Like, where?
In all things, my dear.
Let me hold on. Let me just move. Let me move Leah over here. Let me move Leah up from
I would not go through Sade's handbag. You know why? Because my mother told me as a kid, you don't ever go through a woman's bag. And I never knew what was in there until I got older. I'm like, oh, that's why you don't go through there. There's some things in there you don't want to see. Okay.
Right. But Terry, that's a relationship between you and your mama, not you and your wife. That is a conversation that you have with her.
But you just said you got mad at Lonnie for going through it. I would never go through your purse. What am I doing rearranging your purse for? I don't need to go there. That's your bag. I'm just saying I would never do it. But as my wife, it's there. Hey, that's her handbag. So when we start separating, see, that's the problem. We're separating what we want to separate, but everything, there's some other things that need to be together. Well, then, Leah, to ask your question, what do you do? How do you decide what we share and what we don't?
We have You have a conversation.
That's a conversation.
You have a conversation, right? So, okay, don't go to my handbag, then don't go through my phone.
Okay.
So now you think what? Oh,
wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Something's in that phone.
So now you're doing tit for tat. Again, this is we're in the depths of marriage. We're spouses as we're dating. Like for me,
I need you to stand down. No, go ahead.
One of my dreams is to have a prayer room, right? And whatever home I have, I want a prayer room. I would ask my husband, do not go in my prayer room. That don't mean I'm in there doing that. That is the space that I want for myself with me and God, for that to be our space. I don't want anybody in that room. It's the same way I grew up in the South. My mama had a white room. All the furniture was white. We could never go in there. Why?
It had plastic on it?
No, we didn't have plastic.
That's Southern. Ours is Jamaican, right? Plastic.
No.
I have a question. Can I ask a question though? Here's my question. Is it realistic, right, that we're having a conversation that says it sounds like a whole bunch of don'ts? Are we like what does help the audience understand when we're having a conversation about cell phone or pocketbook? is that a random conversation, or is it when something happens, then we're having the conversation of don't do it?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's a random conversation. I think it's a conversation that should be intentional and deliberate.
Yes.
And it in the beginning, like for real, I'm not holding anything from you, and I'm hoping that you would never hold anything from me unless you give me a reason. I would never say. First of all, I don't go in my wife's bag. My wife is that go in my bag, and I'll bring her bag to her.
Same here.
Exactly.
Same here.
You understand what I'm telling you? Those kind of things.
Go in my purse to get so and so. Here go the whole bag. Why you
So-
bring the
Thank
whole
you.
bag? I just don't, cause I ain't going in there.
But there are some instances when me and Faith started dating. I was the program director for the radio station at the university, right? And one Sunday I went in with a student. I was much older than this student. This student was like 18, 19 years old. At the time, I was like just over 30 something, right? And I remember coming back home at a time that I said I wasn't going to come home. Now, let me just put it out there. It wasn't my issue. It was an issue that she had with trust from somebody previously before. Because when we sat down to have the conversation, I was like, have I ever given you a reason not to trust me? Have I done anything? Had I done anything? And I mean, and she came to grips with it after, and we understood what it was, right? But from that day forward, I sat her on the couch next to me. I opened up my phone. At that time, you were using your fingerprint. Now you use your face. And every time I switch my phone, I take her finger and I put it on my phone so that you can have access to this phone just to help you in these areas to read. Now she has to go to, go and see you guys in order to get that. And she's in a good place in space right now. But prior to that, I would give her access to it just to let her know. But that's a conversation that we had. And that was something that I was willing to give in order for both of us to get to a place of health. But if you have a thing with your phone or with your handbag, as long as you don't give me a reason not to trust you, then I'm not touching it. You jack up though. And I'm within full realm of my right at this point.
Hold on.
Wait.
And I'm not.
Wait, I'm on fire tonight. Okay, just wait.
Ooh, Lord, I'm going to tell you because somebody just hit me up and said, "Who's that one talking? Who's that one talking?" I said, "It's the African from New York that lives in Delaware." Go ahead.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to my girl Laverne. Hey, Laverne, nice to have you on with us tonight.
Yes.
Secondly, and she did put some really good things in there, so I love.
I see it.
Some of us, trust has to be earned, and some of us, we give trust willingly until something happens and we take the trust away.
Okay.
Does that make a difference, though, in this scenario that we're talking about? If you have to earn trust with me, then am I going to be tempted to go through the phone if it's sitting on this counter? Now, mind you, you haven't given me a reason to not trust you, but because for me, you have to earn that, does it give me a right to overstep the boundaries or the privacy within the relationship?
I want to ask a question to that.
Yeah. I want to ask me a question, and I'm not trying to answer it. You say you got to earn the trust. Is that after the trust has been broken, or is that from the beginning?
Yeah.
For some people, it's from the beginning, but we know that we come into relationship with our past experiences, right? So they walk into new relationships with us. So while this is a new relationship, the things that have hurt us before are luggages we carry.
Well, here's the thing that I think towards that, right? Because that instance feels like a man-woman, because it's usually the woman who is distrusting and it's the man who is the one who is trying to earn the trust in most situations. Can we agree with that thus far? If I'm walking into a relationship with a woman, do you? Okay, but that's what it. In most cases, that's what it feels like to us when we have to earn trust. It usually feels like it's the man who has to earn the trust. And when I hear that, and when I feel that, my thought goes to, well, if I have to walk into a relationship to earn trust, does she have to earn my love?
So I
just a disclaimer.
No, I want the question answered.
Hold on, just a disclaimer.
Because that's when we look.
It's not me. I'm just giving.
No. I know it's not you, but it's we see it a lot in the realm of dating and relationship. This balance between love and respect. Because for a man, For a man to walk into a relationship and have to earn trust, to us that feels a little bit disrespectful. Why? Because remember, we move by respect. That's the code that we move by. And there's some things that come attached to that realm of respect. And when we walk into a relationship, I'm doing the things, I'm courting you properly, I'm doing all the things that and I'm not getting trust from the beginning. Now, if I give you a reason to distrust me, then okay, cool, we understand that scenario as well. But if I'm walking in and I know that you've had past experiences where, you know, your trust might have been broken, things might have happened to you, I think it's a little bit unfair for him to walk into that relationship already under the gun. He don't even got a clean slate.
Quest, here's the issue. Why is he still walking into a relationship that he knows that the woman doesn't trust him in the beginning?
But
like,
there's the flip side to
pump
that
your
as well.
brakes,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
don't walk into a continuation of a relationship where you know that this woman is going to continually badger you because she has her own stuff.
That's true.
Let her deal with her stuff first.
Absolutely true. But the flip side to that is she shouldn't be looking for nobody's relationship if she don't know how to trust, because that's foundational to relationship.
And I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the
yeah,
reality is, you know, people get into relationships for a lot of different, you know, a myriad of reasons.
Yep,
but
absolutely.
if you see that this is your reality where someone is continually mistrusting you, you can't turn a corner, you can't walk away, you can't, right? Then that's a red flag that you probably shouldn't push past.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I say
and you see that, Leah, in the beginning of the relationship. That just don't happen overnight.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? It happens in the beginning. Trust is the vital component of any relationship.
Yeah.
And we do what? We rely on people for trust. Remember what I said, the foundation of a trusting relationship, the 3 S's: safety, shelter, and support. Safety, shelter, and support. That is the basis of your trust. But guess what? A lot of times that ain't there. It's not there.
So can I say something real quick? I think we have to understand that not all what we deem invasions of privacy are an issue with trust or love. Right? I come from a family where literally when we pick up the phone, it's what you doing? Where you at? Where you going? That is how we communicate, right? So to a gentleman, if I call you, I'm like, hey, what you doing? Where you at? Where you going? You can come up, you trying to be in my business. No, this is just how I am, right? So we have to not only just look at it like, oh, she don't trust me. Maybe the person comes from a family where their phones are never locked. Or maybe this is just what they're accustomed to. Everything is not always rooted in mistrust or you have to earn my love. This is why you have the conversation, right? Like, how are you with people popping up at your house?
But Leah, the person who has a problem with that probably is hiding something.
Oh,
I'm saying, if you were to call me, what you doing? What's going on? I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm gonna tell you what's going on. If I have nothing to hide, you see what I'm saying?
But you have to look at both parties. If you're not used to that, if that's not something that you're accustomed to having, somebody asking you, what you doing? Where you at? Like, why do you want to know this? It's not necessarily I want to hide it. It's just like, what is this information going to do for you?
But that's the conversation, right?
Is that privacy though? Are you infringing on my privacy by asking me those questions?
Right. And that doesn't mean that's not rooted in distrust. That's not rooted. For some people, this is just how I communicate. This is just how I am. And that's, again, why when we're having those conversations at the beginning of a relationship, married people, I don't know how you navigate this stuff, but in the beginning of a relationship, it's like, what do you consider to be private? What are things that you don't want to share with me now or ever? Like, what does that look like?
And I think that we're talking about the culture of marriage, right? Like, all cultures don't show up the same, which means that all marriages are not going to show up the same. And the individuals that are embedded within those relationships are individuals. And I think what we're missing is honoring the fact that although two have become one, they're still individuals, and that should be honored. I do not want an enmeshed relationship. I want a loving relationship.
Yes.
And that's two totally different things. I want to be able to function, operate as Leah. Yes, we are Chapmans, right? I took on your last name. But the real is I was living long before I met you. So there's going to be things about me and ways that I operate. And that's going to create the culture of our marriage.
Right.
You know, and so can I be transparent for a second? And I didn't ask my husband this. So another part about what we're talking about is some conversations before you put it public, you need to discuss, right?
Sure.
But I don't think he's going to worry too much about this.
Remember, he have a gun, but go ahead.
No vex with him, come here mine too.
All right, good.
Never mind.
She said, never mind.
Go ahead, Mina.
I'll protect you, sis.
What I was going to say
on the next 48 hours.
Hey,
Amina was a love therapist working
on this episode of Snapped.
Y'all not right.
On the next episode of City Confidence.
Look, you all are scaring my sister. Stop.
No, but I will say that I am truly living this very conversation that we're talking about, that what Leah just picked out, like she could have put our names out there.
Okay.
Because we are two very individual people. And I'm not going to lie, I think I tried to maneuver, I'm going to use that M word, maneuver the relationship in a way that was all fulfilling to me, right? Like, oh, hey, I'm going to the mall. Do you want to go? Oh, I'm going to the grocery store. Do you want to go? What do you mean by you don't want to go? You want to let me go by myself? We always go together. But and those are my thoughts, right? But as I am just allowing the relationship to grow and to mature, I'm at the place, and therapy helped me get here, that it is okay for us to do our own thing, because we were doing our own thing before we got together. Now, own thing with limits, though, let's be very clear, right? And because of the love and respect that we have of each other and the respect we have for the marriage, we don't necessarily have to have a conversation. Now, don't go out there and we don't have to have those conversations, because those were things that was established from day one. But we get to live as our own individual. And the most important thing is we support each other through those things.
You know, Amina, I'm going to now, because what I just did is I just text Wendy and I just said to her, "Are you on?" All right. And she said, "Indeed, yes, she's on." I learned maybe 13 years too late in my marriage that she's an individual. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, it came out of an argument one time when she said, I'm about to go to Target. All right. And I said, well, I'm coming. And she was like, I don't want you to come with me. Okay. All right. And if you're hearing me, Wendy, you know, you can tell you can add your 2 cents in. I was so messed up and bewildered because I wasn't going with her because I'm wondering who she's stopping by or who you check it out. I just wanted to go with her.
Because you like spending time with her.
Yes. Right.
So,
but she, and it does, and it didn't mean that she didn't like spending time with me.
Right.
It meant that, I just put these kids down, right?
I need a moment.
I need to decompress.
Right. Now watch this. The kids are in college. All right. And today is like her day off.
Yep.
Today, I'm just like, where you at? you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm at this spot, I'm eating, I'm reading, I'm doing what I want to do. Don't want to do it at home. I need my space. I need my time. She didn't say I need my space, but I recognize she needs her time. You see, I'm not that guy.
Right.
I'm not that guy, but I had to see.
She said it's hard.
I'm the guy that wants to be up under her behind. I'm the guy that's like, let's go to the mall. I'm the guy that let's go to so. And she was like, I want you to think about going to the movies by yourself. I want you to think about going to the mall by yourself. I want you to think about doing some things by yourself because I like doing things by myself. So here it is that if I knew she was that kind of person before we got married, I would have gotten into the marriage setting up boundaries for control or setting up limitations for control instead of saying, yo, this is just how she is, just how she is, and so let it be.
Great.
And I'm just telling you, it's kind of for me, it's nuts sometimes because I'm still that guy that's like where you going? You want to come with me? She doesn't like going to the old store. I love going to the old store. Sometimes I got to call a friend of mine and be like, yo, could you meet me at the old store? Because
what's the old store?
Salvation Army store.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Like the thrift
store.
Okay.
Like
yeah, that makes me itch. I would never go.
Are you serious?
Thrifting.
Hey,
You, my
I'm gonna
sister.
tell you.
Go ahead, Quest.
My
I
daughter's
wanted
in
I
the
wanted to
thrifting
say this
thing,
because
too.
this is the reason why I do the assessments when I'm doing premarital coaching, because you really do need to understand the way each other is wired. My boy Preach should be on this on with us, right? My wife is somebody who is she's a structure and protocol, and you know what I'm saying? Like rules are in place for a reason. For me, rules is just guidelines. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the type of individual, I'm a people person. I love to be in the presence of people. I love to, you know what I'm saying? Like when I'm with Faith, I love to be up under her behind and literally. You know what I'm saying? I love to annoy her from time to time. And she's like, ninja. And you like she's the type of individual where she can't do crowds, and if she does, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours tops. After that time, she gives me the look like because they drain her. And I think that's important for us to know that when we are with a spouse who's wired like Wendy and Faith is wired, it's not that they don't want to be around people. Sometimes it's that they're literally emotionally drained from people. Sometimes she drained from me and she needs to go to solitude to recharge. So what happens in those moments of solitude, they get an opportunity to process information. Because like if I'm speaking to Faith, like I have to give her all the details, and then I have to give her a day or two to go in wherever she needs to go to process the information and then come back. Me and you, we in the next experience, and we ain't even done with the one we in right now. We in 3 experiences later, and we ain't even finishing the one we in right now. There's a major difference in between the two. When I talk in broad strokes. She talks in A, subsection 1, subset 3. Like it's a structure. And when you got people who do that, if you don't know what the wiring is, it can feel what you're talking about, P.
Okay, okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Armina, before you say anything, I got a question for you. So are you comfortable and you can plead the fifth? Are you and Evans comfortable?
Vince.
Sorry, Vince to Royal Crown Grease. Vince. Is you and Yum Yums? Are you guys comfortable in being not private but having your own space?
Yes. He has a man cave, and it's a decked out man cave. That's the whole length of the house, and it's a fairly decent sized house. And me and the kids are not allowed, and the dog, especially the dog, the doggy is not allowed down there. But there are times where I just want to be where he is, you know, and so I'll call him and say, hey, you coming up? And he'll come and watch Lifetime. He's not even watching Lifetime. It's on. Maybe I'm watching it, but we're sharing the same quarters together, and we both can sense when we've had enough of that and we need our own little private areas. And so he goes back to his man cave and I continue doing what I'm doing. My life moves very fast and it's very busy. And so if we're not intentional about spending time with each other, a whole week could go by and we may not have even said 2 or 3 words to each other.
Man. Okay. Let me say this, please. Norma just made a comment here, right? Norma just made a comment.
Hey, Norma.
Okay, she says, For us, it was in the beginning doing things separately, even vacations. Now, 30 plus years later, we like to be together a lot. I do not go into his wallet, right? Go in his wallet because he doesn't like it. I do not desire so. I do not care for him to go into my private spaces. We all different people still. Now, when she said even vacations, it made me go up to Laverne. I'm sorry, excuse me. And Laverne made a comment up here somewhere about going to the Eagles.
She said something about going on vacation too.
Right, and going on vacation. All right. I'm not gonna. I don't want to put all of this out there together, but this is my problem. I'm coming. I'm Lord have mercy.
I have my hand up for. Like,
okay, hold on. I'm sorry, Armina.
Wait, let me write it down because I'm gonna forget it.
I want to say Sade had her hand up when I had my hand up, so I just want to say that.
Okay, okay. Hold on. All right, hold on. No, I'm sorry. Armina, I know you were saying something, and I asked you a question, but I thought that you said what you were going to say after that. I want you to say what I want you to say what you're going to say because I'm gonna remember what I was going to say. So Armina, hit me, and then hit us real quick, Sade, and then Sade's husband, and then we'll go back to.
Why do y'all?
What Red? What Red?
I'm so ready this weekend. I'm so ready. I got the assault rifle with extra clips.
Okay. Pause. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Armina.
Desiree, if you're watching, put that on the back of TP's shirt. Sade's husband.
What are we doing?
We're getting you married.
Role play.
Matter of fact, husband, push Sade's boo.
Come on, come on. Point. What is it? Point.
So last couple of weeks, we've also talked about the need to love yourself.
Okay.
And part of the issue that I see in my practice is when one individual struggles with loving themselves, it's very hard for them to understand individuality within the relationship.
Yep.
I don't like you.
Yep. Say it one more time for the people in the back, please.
No, man, I don't like you, Armina. You know, you just be taking.
No, that's real.
I never said you though, so it makes
no. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No. Say for the people in the back because
truth is truth. Let it hurt. Let it. That. Okay, as Laverne said, where's Laverne? As Laverne, that part.
Say it again. Mina.
Go ahead, Mina.
If we struggle with loving ourselves, we're going to struggle with our partner's individuality.
Yep.
Within the relationship.
Yep.
And I will tell you, this piece doesn't just extend to intimate relationship. It extends to friend groups as well. You know, we don't really talk about the nuances of friend groups, right? We focus on relationships like intimate relationship, partner on partner, but the same things exist within that. And I love talking about attachment styles and attachments and how we attach to people and what we lack growing up that affects us as we're now adults. You know, but the bottom line is if we do not love ourselves, we will struggle with individuality within the relationship.
I got it. I just want you to know that. Did she snap herself up just now? I want Laverne Cheeseborough to know that I sent her an invitation 20 minutes ago, and she still has not responded to it. Go ahead, Sade. Go ahead,
Act right.
What I will say as the never married single is that I think something single people who have been married, who have never been married. I'm 38, almost 40, right? There is a part of you that yearns to do things with another person, right? And it to someone who's not used to it, it can come off as clingy, but sir, you don't understand how long I've waited to have the opportunity to do X, Y, or Z with you. My. So we have to, again, this is why these conversations are important, because my family will say Sade don't need nobody. She's by herself. She's not clingy. She come around when she want to come around. An ex will be like, I could not get her away from me. Because those are two totally different desires. right? I've been with my family forever. I know them, but I don't want to travel. I don't want to go to Jamaica with my family. We've done that before. I want the experience of it being a romantic, a vacation. You want those experiences, and to someone who may have experienced it before, or someone who's like, it's not something that really matters to me, it can come off as like she doesn't have a sense of self, or she's not an individual, when it's really like, sir, I've been waiting on this literally my whole life. I feel like I can make a song off of that, but go ahead.
Wow.
I've been waiting for so long.
I just think that there are.
What? Oh, if I never had someone like you. Who was that? Jeff Red? I can't remember. Anyway.
Jeffrey.
Glenn.
Jeff. Who?
No. I'll tell you his name in a minute. Keep going.
You should know that. You should know that, Quest.
It's Glenn.
Jones.
It's Glenn Jones. It's Glenn Jones.
Glenn Jones. All right.
I want to pause. Sade, do you know Glenn Jones, the song or anything? Or is that,
come on.
Oh, yeah, she know that.
Long.
Hey.
Nobody like you. Nowhere to be. Boy, put that album come down.
Makes me wonder
what I do
if I never had someone like you.
Yo, let me tell you something. I bet you on Friday when we have our breakfast.
Yo, can we play slow jams in the sanctuary? I just want to know. We're all talking about love amongst married folks.
All right, so this is what I want to say when I have my hand up.
Okay, and then after that, I want to introduce somebody else. Go ahead.
Come on.
Okay, so quickly, remember I talked about the levels of intimacy, spiritual, intellectual, compatibility, emotional, and sexual. What I mean, and what we're kind of talking about here is actually compatibility intimacy. Okay, compatibility intimacy. And I'm looking at my notes. The mutual sharing of work and play. And compatibility intimacy can be expressed by enjoying doing things together, but it also can be expressed through acceptance and enjoyment of time apart. Couples who are intimate in this form are comfortable with spending time doing separate activities, but also dedicate time to enjoy each other while doing shared projects.
Because the heart grows fonder in absence.
And well, I'm going to say
and balance is necessary.
Leah, Armina, Sade, I'm going to tell you all this right now. I need to grow more.
Pete,
I need to grow more.
Question. You know what I want to ask you?
No, don't ask me.
Okay.
Paul, maybe you don't need to necessarily grow more. Maybe it could be just accept what is. Sometimes we have a very difficult time just simply accepting who we are, how we function, how we operate, and vice versa, right? For the other individual.
You getting that clinician work now.
When you can do that, then you can find more of a balanced reality within your home life.
Yes.
I got you.
That's that LMFT work. That's that LMFT work.
But you can only accept who you are in a space where you're on a journey, right? You don't just arrive one morning and wake up and be like, you know what? I accept this. No, because you're struggling because of the simple fact that you don't accept it. So you need to be in a non-judgmental space to unpack who you are and to unpack where and what you're going, where you're going, and who you have become. Then you can start to then do what my sis is saying.
So
all right. I want to
hear my fellow clinicians say is that man need to radically accept. That's why I'm hearing.
That's good old DBT work right there.
Go of fighting reality, sir. You're suffering because you are not accepting the pain.
I'm not getting fired from my job. All right, get off right there. I want to introduce.
Grow. I wish I was a baller. I wish I was.
And I'm gonna tell y'all right now. In although we're jesting or I'm jesting, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I am so grateful. And you know how we started things out, a quest from months and months ago. This was about, as men, right? really as men trying to recognize that, yo, this is really not your world.
It's not.
This is not. It's not about you. It's not about the way you were raised and what I say goes. And even though I may not treat her that way, or in my last relationships treat my girlfriends that way or whatever, I still wanted you here. Oh, trouble in the camp. All right, ask the question.
Oh, there she goes.
Yeah, I
asked it.
I'm asking because Wendy said to ask.
Okay.
Have you acquired your therapist yet?
Understood. And in
I'm
light
only
of that,
asking. I want to be very clear. I'm only asking because Wendy said.
I understand. And so what we're going to do right now is that beautiful green or
Yes.
emerald. That emerald. I don't know who she is.
She's my friend.
I want to be introduced to her because she's been lighting up our
chat.
I went.
But did y'all see how quickly the pastor kind of circumvented that question? But I'm going to back up on that.
He did not answer. That was a simple yes or no, but he's
so I've been on Facebook.
Sister Leah, I saw you load up the clip. You know what I'm saying? I might be an accessory to murder.
You know call him your attorney. Don't answer that question.
That's right.
I might be an accessory.
Armenia, could you introduce us to Laverne, please?
So I met Laverne, gosh, maybe 10 years ago.
Praise God.
She was the founder of a support group for wives in the Philadelphia area, and Christian wives. And so I believe I met her on a Facebook platform. And we did things as a group monthly. We had Bible studies together. We had conversations about marriage. And she is such a beautiful soul. She also she's a Black women's business owner. She has a daycare in Philadelphia. And so, yeah, that's Laverne to me.
Oh, come on. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, I want you to put your hands together for Laverne. Let's go.
Okay. Now, usually Laverne, people usually light up our chat, but you put fire on our chat. Good so night. You said a couple of things concerning your husband. You said a couple of things concerning yourself and the dynamics between your relationship. Share with us in the years that you have been married. What is your mindset and even if you wrote it before, what is your mindset concerning boundaries, concerning phone, concerning purses? What's your thoughts, please?
Oh, wait, sorry. She's an author too.
Oh my. Well, we don't want. Well, thank you for your presence. We'll see you later. Bye. Go ahead, sis, please.
So we've been together for 18 years. We've been married for 14. We'll be married 15 years this year.
Praise God.
And I'm like I said, I moved like an only child. I didn't bring my baggage into the relationship. I don't think I did. He may think otherwise, but I don't think I did. Meaning I've been in those experiences where I've been cheated on. I've been in experiences where there has been abuse from both sides and things like that. And so I didn't let that
she from Philly for real.
dictate how I moved in the relationship as far as I don't trust you. You might do things. I just kind of gave him boundaries. Like, this is what I don't accept. This is what I don't like and things like that. So, and I have a lot of friends. I am the most introvert extrovert that one will ever meet, if that makes sense. I hang out a lot. I hang out with a lot of people. I can go to one of the biggest events by myself. So I know a lot of people. He's a barber in the city, so he knows a lot of people as well. But when we got together, we did not merge our friends together, if that makes sense. So he never really seen me engage with people. He works all the time. So seeing him with people really wasn't a thing, but he never seen me with people. So there was times when he just wasn't comfortable with my friends and people that I associated with. So I always have events. I always have parties and stuff. So there's always people here, things like that. So we are very different, very different. Wow. And when in the beginning, there was insecurities and trust and all that kind of stuff, but it was basically, in my opinion, because we did not mingle our friends together so that we can see how we engage with each other, and he would feel comfortable with my friends. He was selective with the friends he were comfortable with.
Man, yeah, I mean, what do you think, that it hinders or it helps?
I think it hinders. You have to do that. You really have to do that. You have to, especially if you have, because like people create these rules. When we got married, I wanted us, like my girls in my wedding, I wanted them to all be with me at the hotel and things like that. And they had these rules like, oh, I'm not allowed to spend the night out, and they weren't married. So it was really, really weird for me, because I never, when my husband was my boyfriend, I was like, I'm not your wife. And I didn't give him wife things, privileges, requests. And so I was like really frustrated in my planning my wedding and stuff because of the things that people were having going on. And in my opinion, that stuff is around baggage and insecurities. So, like I said, I travel, I go places, I do things. And there's people, I remember I was one time in my business. My husband is an awesome person when it comes to supporting my businesses, but he was here one night with the children, and the father came in and he said, "Where's your wife?" And he said, "My wife went to the store." And he says, "Oh, you comfortable with your wife going out at night?" For me, it was so disrespectful and offensive. And I told my husband, I was like, "You should have put him out, blah, blah, blah." But he was so professional that I terminated that man midnight. I terminated the family at midnight because he was so disrespectful. So there are people, men, who feel like my husband is too comfortable with me doing things by myself. That some men would be like, I need to protect my wife, so she can't be doing all of this stuff. But like I said, I went to the Eagles Parade by myself. He wasn't comfortable with me going by myself, so I put on my locator so he knew where I was. I met my son there, but I still had my locator. I gave my locator to my husband and my sister so that if something happened, they knew where I was. I let him know when I got back to the car. These are the things that I do when I travel by myself. He knows my whereabouts and stuff. It's not a thing where he's like, "Oh, I don't know where she is and I don't know what she's doing."
Wow, I got you. I got you. I hate saying this because it sounds like we don't have enough strong Black women. But I'm going to say it. You are a strong Black woman. All right. And I'm not talking about going out by yourself or this, that, and the other. I think that it's amazing when a person can speak the way you speak and their husband, well, maybe I should ask the question. Is your husband like you? Or is your husband more, how should I say it? Maybe more passive about certain things?
He not like me at all.
He not like me. He not like me. He's not like me.
They not like us.
He's not like us.
I got you. I just think it was, just watching some of the things that you're writing about, some of the things that you're saying, going over it. I said, look, man, you just said the statement, I move like an only child. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of men that can't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you, a lot of men can't handle that. And one of the biggest things that a lot of men can't handle is it's not really that they want to always be around you, but it's a loss of control when they don't see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if it would be a loss of control for me. I think it would be more of a concern for me.
But
if it was like in the years past when we was coming up, like it would be different. But we live in a climate now where like the respect for women is a little bit different. And I don't like how people be moving outside, you know what I'm saying? Outside the crib. I don't like how people move.
Can I say that I don't think that that's gender specific? I don't think it's men that can't deal with a woman. There are women who don't like their men to move like that. This is not a gender specific thing. And to your point, Black men have been getting killed by cops for forever now. So if the person I'm with is like, yo, I'm going out, sir, it's 10 o'clock. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Anybody remember? Quest, do you remember that from New York?
Yeah. What?
It's 10 o'clock.
Do you know where your husband is? And I'm 51. I ain't going out nowhere. If I'm not out by 8:30, 9 o'clock, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Terry got his hand up. Don't forget Terry now.
Boy, we don't want no trouble. Terry, hit us,
please,
man. Hit us.
Please.
So I wrote a few notes here as I was listening to
Laverne.
Laverne. I like your green, Laverne. That looks real good on camera there. Okay.
Thank you.
So what I'm trying to be nice. All right, but here's the thing though. Here's my thing. Okay. Um, I think when we use the words, and Laverne didn't do this, but three things I want to say. I think when we use the words let, allow, feel okay with, those are controlling words. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You let your wife. What do you mean let your wife?
Yep. And that's why I was so disrespectful. I was like, what?
She ain't no dog. What you mean let her? I let the dog out, but my wife go out when she want to. You see what I'm saying? And I think we have to look at the words we use when we say those things. Okay. When I was married, my ex went to Dallas once a month, for work. And the guys in my class would say, Dr. Parks, you let your wife go? Yeah, man, she making cheddar. What you mean, let her go? That's her job. That's part of her job. Because here's the thing. You can't police people because they're going to do what they want to do. You see what I'm saying? Here's a good example. How many of y'all grew up with a girl in the neighborhood and she could never come outside, but then she wound up pregnant? But he's like, how the heck she didn't even come outside?
We were sneaking out at her.
You can't stop people from doing what they want to do, and getting your phone checked and whatever. That's a whole nother job you don't get paid for. It's exhausting trying to figure out, hey, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. The other thing is this: when my phone would ring, I could be in the shower. My ex would, hey, your phone ringing. I say, answer that. Because that could be money calling. And most of the times it was. You see what I'm saying? Catch that. Because every time you don't answer that phone, I don't want it to go to voicemail, answer. And she could answer. There's nothing. But here's the thing. You said something about, and I've heard this before. I didn't give him wife things. And I saw reels where women said, oh, wait a minute now, hold on. Now you done moved up to wifey status. You trying to do things in the wifey. I'm just girlfriend. And my question to all the women on the panel would be this: if you're not doing wife things, is it fair for me to do husband things prior to the marriage? If you're trying to be chosen, what are wife things and what are husband things? Because if I'm trying to show you that I can be a husband, how do I do that without doing husband things? If you're trying to show me that you can be a good partner, a good support person, what is it you do to show without giving me wife things?
So I cooked for him, but my grandmother did the more cooking in the beginning. What the wife part versus the girlfriend part was, I'm not obligated to cook for you, so don't expect it. I'm not saying I won't do it, but I'm not obligated to do it.
Did he feel you were obligated?
In the beginning, until I established that, I think so.
She said, you have until I established that.
We had that conversation, and I'm not obligated to do it. We had to have that conversation.
Okay.
Well, first of all, the conversation that's not been had is what is the role?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We are arbitrarily just using, these labels of husband and wife, and that is not universal yet again. It is my ability to define what it looks like to me. Now, if my husband is saying, hey, can we kind of, make some adjustments or whatever, now we can begin to negotiate, right? Coming into my second marriage, right? I had been a single woman practically my entire life. I didn't get married again until I was 40 years of age. I was very much established into who I was. There was not going to be a whole lot of course correction, right? No moving it. So you had to, for the most part, accept who Leah was coming out the gate. Now, if there's anything else that you see that you would desire, make your recommendations known or asks known. And then I will let you know is that something that fits within the confines of how Leah function and operate. Right. Mm-hmm. And these are those types of conversations I think that's missing, is because you can't change anybody. And a lot of times, like you're talking about, Terry, you know, these buzzwords, it is about power and control, but at the root of that is fear. It's fear of loss. It's fear that I might lose what my deep desires were and what I see might be accomplished in another. And so we have to be able to have these conversations. And after you get your fears out and you have these open and transparent conversations, now we can get down to the real of who it is you in this relationship with. Because I'm not obligated to be the end all be all to all of your fears. Okay. That pulls too much on me.
Okay.
Let me ask this.
You know what I'm hearing?
Obligated if you get married?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Are you obligated when you get married?
Obligated to what?
Cook. I'm still trying to find out what are the.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you about me, T. I'm gonna tell you about me. This is how it went down with me, right? I was a single mother for 18 years, and I was dog tired.
We family, Leah. We family.
I know we family. I was a single mama for 18 years of 2 children. I was exhausted. So my husband knew when he came into this, he was dealing with a depleted woman that was tired. And you know what my husband said to me? He said, baby, I know how to make a sandwich if I need to. I said, that's the one for me. Because if you were going to try to pull me and stretch me even further than what I was able to give, we couldn't have did it.
Can I say this? I think what I'm hearing now as we're having
and then Sade, go ahead.
Is I want to say this to people who are in dating situations or relationship. Do me a favor. Stop stepping into marriage or just into relationship with your preconceived notions about what you think it is and what it is not. Right? Because I hear it over and over again. Conversation, talk, ask questions, do all of these things, right? When you get into relationship, if we're talking about obligations, the only thing that you need to be obligated to is commitment. However, the conversation needs to take place because I have to talk about what am I being obligated to, or what am I committing to, right? Laverne just said it. I will cook for you, but I ain't obligated to cook. Right now, if you a man who believes that your woman should cook for you, then that might not be the relationship for you. But that's why the conversations are so important. You said earlier on, Leah, that people getting into relationship for a myriad of different reasons. If you are not getting into relationship for the purposes of marriage, then why are you doing relationship?
Wifely things.
But I'm saying, and
if who defines wifely things?
That part. And to that point, again, for example, in a young Paul posted it, right, where a young lady said, "I've only seen my mother as a wife." So I don't even know what girlfriend things are because all I've seen my whole life is wife. So to some people, they'll be like, "You doing too much. This is all I know." Right. So I think when we go into situations, because listen, Sade is nurturing. I'm going to, what do you need? How can I help? That's who I am. That's not Sade trying to be a wife. That's Sade being Sade. And so what we have to understand is when we have those conversations, what are your expectations of a wife? What are your expectations of me as a girlfriend? Because those are 2 totally different conversations.
All right.
These are my expectations of you. Right. Like I tell everybody, there are 2 things I can't wait to give up when I get married: my last name and my car keys. Sir, have at it. Like, these are the things where I know this is what I feel your responsibility is once we get married. As my boyfriend, it's unrealistic to have that expectation. But again, that's because we have the conversation.
Okay.
You have the right to. You have the right to.
Your responsibility is. I guess we keep it's almost like we talk about I statements, right? But in this conversation, it's been a lot of what you are to be doing
only that person can dictate what they are to be doing.
Facts right there. Armina, go. I got you, Leah.
Yeah, go
Armina.
ahead.
So when I was dating my now husband, I never thought that the things I was doing was wifey stuff or wife stuff. I love hard and I just was loving him,
Yes.
And I mean, through the years, I've heard the statement more like, well, I'm not doing wifey things, or, I don't have the ring, or I don't have the last name. And those thoughts just never crossed my mind when we were dating. Because in my mind, if we got married, it would only amp up. It would never stay just at that level. And sure enough, it has amped up. So for me, I would say that I never thought that in the space, when I was dating Vince.
I do have a question. I like that. I do have a question for you, Laverne. What do you say to a woman or a man or a friend or whomever who say, "Hey, you know what? I think you're a little bit too independent as a married person." What would you say? I'm talking. Wait, and it's a personal question. It's a
Yeah,
personal question. Okay.
yeah. Um, I don't. I would ask my husband if he thinks I'm too independent, because
Wow.
there is something up. There are some things about me that I can pretty much be, and just I'll be like, yeah, that's me, and it'll be kind of like cocky. So I would
Okay.
ask him if he thought that I was too independent. But when we came into the relationship, we did allow ourselves to be so, like, he traveled with his friends and I did my traveling. We did our things and we didn't stop doing them because we got together. You know what I mean? Those are things that we did separate, that we like doing separate. And then we come together. And I was a teen mother. He doesn't have any children. So I came into the relationship like, I don't want a man with kids. I had all this stuff. And he just wanted somebody to accept him for who he was and his work schedule. And I did. And I said to him, I said, I'm just not going to be sitting home reading books, waiting for you to come home.
Do you mind me asking, Laverne? You can always plead the fifth. When you say you were a teen mother, how old? Do you mind? How old were you when you?
18. I
Okay,
was
18.
18 with my first and 23 with the second. And
Okay.
so now I'm almost 50. And I just have to explain to him, like, when I was younger, it was me and my babies. So now that I'm older, I'm doing all the things that I wanted to do back then. I'm doing them and I'm having fun doing them. And I don't pressure him. I don't pressure him to do things that he doesn't want to do or don't like to do. I don't pressure him to do that. And he don't tell me, I don't want you to do the things that you enjoy.
I want to ask you another question. I'm just hey, one more. Okay, when you say that, right? Then you've been married 15 years. Did you get married in your late 30s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and is
Was
he
I in
older
my
than?
30s? Probably.
Is
Close to
he
30.
okay? Is he older than you or?
Yeah, by a couple of years.
Okay,
A couple.
I think it's sometimes I've recognized that when you get married, not in your early 20s, right? Or you have been married before, or you've had children, or you had a life before. Same thing Leah talks about. She had this life before Lonnie or what have you. It's very different from my life. Very different from my life. Um, where you're starting together with experience.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I'm coming from? Which I'm going to tell you, which is beautiful about this. I have seen more people married with experience already stay in a relationship longer than those who get married younger. I'm just saying, have their children and whatnot. Let's say early 20s or whatever, and they can't deal with the changes. They can't deal with the um and when I say changes, because everybody changes in a relationship, they want the journey to be the same way it was in their 20s. And when I hear you speak sometimes, when I hear you speak, um I wonder how many young people can say, I want a husband in their 20s. I want a husband that can go out with their friends, and it's okay. And I go out with my friends, and it's okay. Let me tell you something, Sister Laverne. I think it's novel, and in this conversation, I'm finding it to be novel. But I think my trust levels at early 20s in my early 20s would say, "Oh no." Just the other day, family, I'm gonna just say this, right? Wendy, for her birthday, she goes away every February for her birthday. Last February, she went by herself, like flew out by herself. Now, let me tell you why I have a problem with that. I had a problem with it, not because I didn't think she was going to be safe or this, that, and the other. I brought my 23-year-old mindset in a 50-year-old in our 50-year-old in a 50-year-old mindset. Like a 23-year-old Paul Graham, a 30-year-old Paul Graham, a 35-year-old Paul Graham is not going to Mexico by himself because I'm coming back with Mexican babies. All right. I'm just telling you, that's me. But I have to remember that the person that's going is independent and not me. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So I end up putting my angst, right? So here it is. Laverne is in the chat and she's talking about this, that, and the other. I'm like, she can't be real. She cannot be real because I'm looking at Laverne in my 23-year-old mindset instead of looking at Laverne in my 50-year-old mindset. And we've got to be in a place where we should be able to not just trust, right? Because you going your separate ways and hanging out and coming back is not just about trust. It's also about who you are in your own personal journey.
Yeah.
And I think that what we have done is we have distorted the spiritual mindset of the two becoming one, not being able to think for yourself.
I also think we also try to make marriage a universal truth as to what it looks like. Right?
Ooh.
What works for Leah and Lonnie is not gonna work for everybody. And what we do is Leah shares what they do, and we're like, oh, I would never do that. So now I'm passing judgment on Leah because or Laverne Travis, I would never do that. She did it or did that's what works for their marriage. And I think we have to stop trying to take one brush and say this is what marriage is.
Right.
No,
but isn't that how we do everything too, Sade?
Everything.
And there's that thing in the back of my brain that says how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Everything. Yes,
you feel me?
We do that with sex. And so when we get married, we're disappointed because, we didn't try it out before.
Somebody talking about
therapy. I see it in the opposite.
Within the context of marriage, somebody, you and your friend go to a store, you be like, yo, them green pants is fire. Them green pants is ugly. I'll never wear. Well, before you know it, you ain't buying the green pants because your friend said it's ugly. Right. But you really do like the pants, but you ain't buying. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it happens. And if you do that in your normal life, it flows all over into all the other areas of your life.
Yes, but we have to be open-minded to exploring and to change, right? Because our mindsets of what it is going into it, it's not going to be that. And if we're not willing to be open-minded, then guess what? We're going to be setting ourselves up for failure. So we have to get into the marriage willing to accept some things that's going to come, especially about the person's individuality, and them wanting to be an individual. But this is a touchy topic for a lot of people because it goes back to what I said earlier. If I'm insecure with me and myself, that's going to spill into the marriage with my partner.
I got you. Terry, please.
Let me say so quick 2 things. Right now, what I do is I go on mindfulness trips. Okay. Go on mindful trips where I go by myself. I don't tell anybody where I'm going. I said, I'm going to go somewhere where I've never been before. Okay. And I do that. And unfortunately, a lot of folks believe that when I shut down, that I'm with somebody, I'm doing something. I just want to go and read. I want to go and catch up on do some things that I can't do. Well, you normally call but I'm on this mindfulness thing and I can talk to you. I talk to you all the time, but now I'm gone, and my kids know where I am. You see what I'm saying? If something happens, but people act like you can't go and do something. I've never been here. I've never been there. I never been, and I want to go and do these places. I don't want to tell anybody where I'm going because I don't want to be on the phone with nobody. I just want to enjoy this time. Okay. But what Leah is saying and what Sade is saying is basically it's like relationships are like a treatment plan. I can't take what works for Lonnie and Leah and give it to Armina and her husband. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't work like that. I gotta do a different one because it's based on these individuals and what they're going through. So everybody's treatment plan is different. What if everybody's treatment plan was the same? You're gonna mess some folks up. You see what I'm saying? A new guy came into my class the other night and he was bipolar. He was taking his medication or whatever, and I had to explain that to the kid, to everybody else what it meant, what it meant. But just because he's bipolar and the next person is bipolar doesn't mean this medication is going to work for this person or this treatment plan is going to work for this person. Then there's what? Bipolar 2. So which one do you have? Is it 1? Is it 2? So it's like diabetes. You got 1, 2, or 3. Which one is it? So you have to figure out what's going to work for you and use that. It's not a blanket thing that we cover with everybody. It's this works for them. This works for them. Man, that happened in your household? Yeah, I never happened in mine. Okay, great. But what you're doing doesn't work for me either.
And I think we also have to say, even with the treatment plan, everybody has different goals. Right? Like, the goals of your relationship are not the goals of my relationship. And we have to learn
short-term and long-term.
And we have to learn how to listen to people when they're talking about their relationships with the ear of what they're saying they want. If you're okay with it, if that's what you want for yourself, as long as it's not abusive and all of those things, hey, I may not agree with it. I may not want that for myself, but if that's what's bringing you and your spouse happiness, have at it.
I got you. Hey, you want to hit that button, man? You want to hit that button? You want to hit that button?
Oh, the bell.
You want to hit that bell? Sorry, it's the bell. It's the bell.
Let me just go on the hand clap. Give y'all the hand clap real quick. You know,
listen. You gotta, as we close up, I got a question for everyone, and I love this question. And I'm gonna send it around the bell. And while we
the horn.
Around the horn. Sorry.
Let's go.
I'll be your therapist and your attorney, Paul.
Oh, is that so?
Come on.
Emmy makes this comment. She'll be there next week. At our
this week.
Our unscripted this week. She'll be there this week. She asked the question, how can we possibly even think about marriage?
Jesus.
What it is if never seen a successful marriage. And I'm gonna say well, I'm gonna go around the horn and say I'm gonna say this. I would love, people have come to me before and said to me, man, I wish I had a marriage like yours. And all I can say is, no, you don't. No, you don't. Even some people come to me and they say, man, I wish I had your church, or wish I could. No, you don't. No, you don't. What I've heard tonight from each one of you has helped me to realize, because I'm going to tell you, whether you recognize it or not, because we've been together for some weeks now, but when me and Quest close up, we close up like Mork and Mindy, Mork talking to what's his name?
Yeah.
Because I always finish off and I ask him, what did I learn? So I'm not going to do it when it's over. I'm going to do it now, not when it's over. I've basically learned that boundaries, okay, ought to be put together by what is it? Yours, mine, and ours.
Yep.
That's a big deal. That was a big deal. That was a big deal. And then, okay, my wife says Orson. When Mork would talk to Orson.
Orson, yep, that's it.
And so, for those who may not know, from the time we started, because I felt I was going through my own issues. Oh, sorry, baby. Sorry. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Man, Man, I put the chair right down on his foot.
Oh.
All right, Papa.
Call the SPCA.
And then we've got to understand that there's certain things that are control, certain things that are limitations, and certain things are boundaries. Let's not confuse what boundaries are and limitations for control or the motive of boundaries. You said in the very beginning, a quest that boundaries is not just for the two individuals that are there. Boundaries can be for the family. Boundaries can be most definitely for yourself, because if I go away on a trip to Mexico, I gotta set some boundaries for myself.
Yes, you do.
And so I think it's so important that when we look at boundaries, how healthy are boundaries? And it can be as healthy as the agreement, and it can be as healthy as, do we grow from the boundaries? We talked about, this is where Laverne came in, when Laverne began talking about a couple of things, why she was invited to come on and just talk a little bit. That when we look at some of these issues of, do you go into my phone? Do I get to do so and so? Privacy, secrecy. I think that at the end of the day, it does take a conversation. Or Laverne, what you actually said is, we can have a mid-course correction. And what you said was, well, if he feels this way, then we have to go back and talk about it. When Leah said earlier, we start with that conversation. Like Sade said, we start with this conversation. We begin with this. But then the question is, even if you start the conversation, Armina says, do we start the conversation loving yourself? Because if you don't, then the boundaries is about a selfish thing instead of everyone growing together. So tonight, I've recognized, right? And I'm gonna tell you, this was so meaningful to me that everything that I spoke about was not even written down. It's right here, based on what I've learned tonight. And so anyone who is watching, anyone who's listening, the most important issue for you is that in your journey, right? All relationships don't look the same. You got to go through your journey by yourself, and with that person that you believe that God intended you to be with, so that when others see your relationship, they see God in it. All right. So yeah.
I want to drop this in here because I would be remiss if I didn't.
Okay.
Right. And I think it's important. You know what my word has been from last year into this year? It's been development. That's always my word. The question was asked, how can we possibly even think about what a marriage is if we never seen a successful one? The truth of the matter is that you've been traumatized, whether you realize it or not, by an unsuccessful marriage.
We'll close down soon. You can run. Go,
right. And so you whether we realize it or not, we suppress things. And then when it's time for us to have marriage, those things that were suppressed, those things that lay dormant come up. Amina talked about those attachment styles and all of those different things. If we're properly answering that question, how can you have a successful marriage? Go to therapy, work on you, and be the best version of you could possibly be, because health and wholeness will give you the marriage that you think you need or want.
I think we lost Paul when you said go to
therapy. That's it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Well, listen, Laverne, thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again soon. And right before you go, could you just tell us a little bit about your book before you go, please?
So I wrote a book last year called He Chose Me, and that is my journey to self-worth and being worthy.
My.
Between God and I. So,
Where do you live? Where you live in Philly?
I'm in Southwest Philly, and I just wrote a children's book too, The Little Red Box. So that one came out.
Where can they get the book though?
They're on Amazon, but they can get them directly from me. You can send me an inbox on Facebook because my website is working. It's coming. But Laverne Cheeseborough.
Yep.
On Facebook, Instagram, Laverne Cheeseborough.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. I'm not going to get rid of you, but I'm going to throw you out of the room.
Thank you, guys.
and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, she was absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. The things that she said, it's nice to have others'
perspectives.
Thank you, thank you. I see Ingrid tonight. Where is she? I see Miss Ingrid tonight. I hope you'll be with us. So before we close off, could you give us a quick announcement for this Friday, Sabbath, and Sunday? Can you do that for us?
Listen. I don't know where you are in the DMV, or I don't know where you are in the country. If you're going to be in Maryland, if you want to cut, listen, I'm telling y'all right now, this is going to be the free event the first time, right? I'm telling you, after this, you're going to have to pay a ticket price. And every time that we do it, tomorrow's price is not yesterday's price.
Mercy.
I'm just letting y'all know. February 28th to March 2nd, it goes down in Maryland. Y'all already know what it is. The unscripted conversations live and in person. What you see us do here on Monday night, you're going to get to see us do it on Saturday morning, and it is going to be phenomenal, right? It's nothing like doing a live event, man. I used to do them with E all the time. I'm telling you, the crowd is pumped. It's charged. It's charged.
Wait, my sister is on. My sister's on. I've got Brenda Walsh. That's my sister. That's my sister.
Shouts out to Brenda, man.
Shouts out to Brenda. That's my sister.
Out to Brenda.
We need to have her on one day so she can school us on what was it again? On domestic violence.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Domestic violence. No doubt. Keep it going. Keep it going. Quest. Keep it going. Sorry, keep it going.
It jumps off Friday night. We're starting off at 7 p.m. Men only. It is for men, by men, of men. You know what I'm saying? It's the FUBU edition for men on Friday night. For us, by us, right? And listen, let me make a special petition to the men, because the women, we don't have to ask them no questions about coming out to events like this, but we got to jump through hoops for the men. Like, for real, let me just talk to you for a minute. If you're a man, just draw close to the screen real quick. You always talk about having a space for us so we can have the conversations, and again, my dude's right there, so that we can have the conversations that men have. Like, this is a barbershop environment. Let me let y'all know, it's Vegas rules apply. What happens in that room on Friday stays in that room. Are we going to record it? Yes, but not to put your business in the street. There'll be disclaimers. We need it for content, so we'll cut and chop stuff up. No intimate stuff, but will be put out on social media or anything like that. But it is for the men, by the men. Come and start having the discussions, man, where you don't have to worry about no outside interferences. Saturday morning, it jumps off. What time? 11 a.m. we jumping off? Pete, 11, is that the time? All right, good. You get to see this right here live and in person. Saturday evening, 4 p.m. on, it's the Q&A. Oh, stay on your P's and Q. Oh, stay on Paul. Okay, that's a whole nother. Yeah, y'all need to be in the building Saturday evening because it's going down. I promise you. And then all of us will be in this discussion, this Q&A around these unscripted topics. Now, I'm telling y'all right now, I don't know where the conversation gonna go, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be bananas, right? And then on Sunday morning, it's all the women only. March 2nd, women only. Time from 10 to 12:30. And we're going to feed you as well. As Armina said in the commercial, come with your bellies empty, but you definitely going to leave full physically, full emotionally, full on all the leads. You know what I'm saying? Just full, right? And so, yeah, man, February 28th, that's a Friday, March 1st and March 2nd, that's this weekend. Please click the link and register. We are taking all registered folk first, right? If it don't sell out by the weekend, because them registrations are coming in quick, please register, be in the building, February 28th to March 2nd, Maryland. You already know what it is.
Hey, everyone, I want to thank you so much for coming up. And for this much, before anybody goes, because we have decided that we are going to pay for our own stuff. We didn't ask the church for anything or whatever. I'm going to just simply start. Someone sent $50 already, and I want to just put this in. Where is it? Full Circle Ministries. There we go. Cash App Full Circle Ministries. It'll be at Community of Hope, Seventh-day Adventist Church. That if you are looking to be a part of this, it is free. But if you like to start giving, all we need is to pay for our flights. We're paying for flights and for hotels. That's all we need. The church is handling the food. we're just asking you that if you would like to give a little something to offset our coming out there, please just give to Full Circle Ministries, and please put under it, wow, say something, man.
Unscripted.
Unscripted.
Bridge.
Right? The bridge. Just write the bridge, okay? So just send it if you can. Again, Full Circle Ministries. That's what it is, Full Circle Ministries, so that we can take care of our flights and our hotels. And we're just looking to have a great time.
Sade put the link to the event right there in the chat. I think it's on Facebook. She put it in our chat. Yep.
Right. And so
Thomas asked if there's a flyer. We do have a flyer. Just stop by any one of our Facebook or Instagram pages and you'll see it there.
I hope my cousin said the ticket. What did he say? He said your ticket is on me because the problem is that I'm here already. They're coming in. So unless you want everybody up on your in my house or on Gerzel's house, man, just send a donation, man. Just send a donation and send it to Cash App, Full Circle Ministries. And if you can, Owen, I know you're my cousin. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Take the drive, you and your wife, man. Take the drive. All right. You know you got 3 Benzes, and we know your business.
Wow.
All right. Good. All right, everyone. Boundaries. All right. 3, 2, 1. Everyone, take care. Everyone, take care.
Nice.